what's going on, Playbill Nation? This is Joe Rosko. Hey, what's going on? Happy Motivation Monday. It's a special Motivation Monday. Usually Thor's Day would be celebrated on a Thursday. My dog's name is Thor. And our guest today happens to have a dog also named Thor. So we're going to run with this theme because everyone needs a pup nowadays during 2020, right? The amount of dog sales during 2020 probably has gone through the roof. So we're going to be just loving on our pups. Let's bring on our guest, Shereen Pimentel. Hey, Shereen.
Hello.
Oh my goodness. Look at that little, oh yeah, kisses. Everyone watching, Shereen is, she plays Maria in West Side Story on Broadway.
Yeah.
We can't wait to have her back up there doing her thing. But until then, she'll be here chatting with us on Motivation Monday. How are you, Shereen? Thanks for joining us.
I'm good. Thanks for having me. It's Monday, but I'm feeling good. Things are doing good, actually. Yeah.
Well, tell us about little Thor. How did he come into your life?
Well, quarantine, I definitely wanted to get a pup, and then I just didn't. I was always working, and I didn't know if I'd have enough time. And I think like a month or two in, I was like, I'm getting a dog. My mom was like, no. And then I got the dog a few months later because we have a family dog. So there are 2 dogs now, which we never thought we would like have 2 dogs in the same house. But we do. And he's about 7 months old. He's still a little baby. And I'm definitely like a tiger mom. So that's been fun. Yeah, he's my child. He's my baby.
Do you have a dog stroller for him?
I don't. Not yet. He loves to run, so he wants his feet on the ground.
How do you feel about dog strollers? Like when you see someone pushing a dog around in a stroller, how do you feel about it?
I don't know. I get when you have them for like going to the airport and things like that. Like, but just going to the park, your dog wants to walk around. Your dog wants to, I don't know, run, meet other dogs. So, yeah, I'm not the hugest fan for those types of times.
I hear you.
Yeah.
When you get back to the show, is Thor gonna come with you? Will he have his own dressing station? Like, how's that gonna work?
We're gonna work it out. Right now, Thor is not the best with me leaving places. So like if I left my dressing room and Thor was in my dressing room, he would howl very loud. He'd be like, oh, and he does it in our house now as well. So that wouldn't work. So we're working on different things. We'll see what we can do. Or maybe Thor's going to have a buddy and a friend to hang out with while I'm at the theater. Oh, hi.
Oh,
hi.
Yeah, it might not go off well when Tony's lying on the ground at the end of the show and Thor all of a sudden's howling from off stage.
Exactly. That's what we're thinking. It really wouldn't work very well. But he really does like people. So he does get a little scared. He is a scaredy cat, but once he gets to know people, he really does enjoy that. So I'm hoping that he can at least come visit everyone.
Yeah. What have you been doing to keep busy during the pandemic? I've gotten to see you perform, which has been nice, virtually. How's that been for you? Just kind of like, oh, I guess everything's going to be filmed now, and a lot of it might be in my apartment. How have those experiences been?
Yeah. Interesting. I think I've gotten better over time because I've gotten like a whole setup and we've definitely gotten faster in putting together all the things. I am pretty grateful that my parents live pretty close to the city. So I left my apartment in the summer and I moved back to Jersey. So I do have someone I have help at least to put all the things together and record all the things and look at them and give some feedback and opinions. And we can do that all in the comfort of our own home. So that's really nice. but it's interesting. And then it's interesting to see like the final product of what you get when you get a virtual performance. I think I've been doing a lot of that kind of stuff, virtual performing, putting together my own song, my own music, but then also figuring out some other avenues and some other things that I'm interested in, because I think that what quarantine did at the beginning was make it so we had to figure out what life would be like not being a performer. It's really easy. It's not a bad thing. It's just a really easy thing to be able to define yourself from what you do, from being a performer, a singer, a dancer. And now we couldn't do that in the scale in which we were doing it. Now we were doing it in our own homes, and we were doing it again sometimes as a hobby, but not as a job. And once that happened, you had to figure out, how do you actually define yourself as a person? So yeah, I've been finding other interest and finding other things that I want to pursue as well.
Mm-hmm. So you were fresh out of school or in the midst of school when going into the role. Are you still doing classes now, or what, are you done? Are you what's your school status? What's that all about?
So I graduated in May.
Oh, congratulations. Sorry.
Thank you. No, it's okay. And I was like, I am not going back to school. No. So now I'm pursuing my MBA, starting in January.
Amazing.
I'm finishing up some modules because I went to conservatory. So they're like, you didn't take math for 4 years. And I'm like, no. So I have to take math. Yeah. Just like basic math, and then also math? Accounting. You know? Exactly. What's math? I'm like, what? They're like, basic algebra. I'm like, huh? And then I have to take accounting and then finance. So it's been a time these past few months trying to figure all that kind of stuff out. But that's my current school status. I'm still a student. I'm just not doing the arts at school. I'm doing business now.
Very cool. Any specific field of business that you have your eyes set on, or you're going to kind of just pick that as you get into your studies?
I think that my biggest thing is finance. Especially in the past few days, I've been doing a lot of research when it comes to that, and learning how we can stop. It's very interesting. I fall down these like YouTube holes for like 3 to 4 days and try to learn as much as I possibly can, and then go like read some books. But YouTube is like, the most accessible thing that we have. And I was listening to this guy named Tony Robbins, and he was talking about how we all trade. We are all financial traders. We trade our time for money. And that's like the worst trade that you can do, because there are only so many hours in the day. So then there's only so much money you actually could make. And he started talking about how you can make your money work for you, make your money make more money, which ends up compound interest and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of my main focus: investing, working with money. And then after I do that, I don't know what business ventures I want to take on. If I just want to continue investing in projects that I believe in, or I don't know if I want to start my own business at some point. I'll kind of see where that takes me. I think really pursuing the MBA is having the people. That's the whole reason why I got my arts degree in the first place as well, was I wanted to be in the environment and see how that shaped me as a person. So now I'm kind of doing the same thing, even though it's online and it's not in person, trying to see how it will influence me. I don't think like going to school can like answer all the questions that people have, but there's something about the people that are there. There's something about the instructors you have, or something that you hear about. It can help spark like it could be the catalyst to something that ends up being really exciting.
Yeah.
As
you're pursuing this MBA, or even back in your time in school for the arts, you brought up Tony Robbins. Who else has been influential in your current pursuits? Whether that's a big name that you might not know personally, or someone personally.
Yeah. Wow. It's interesting.
Who have you been YouTubing? You said you've been YouTubing for hours.
Yes, I know.
Any big YouTube names that you would recommend for us to check it out, even if it's about finances or things like that? I know that that's important for a lot of us right now in 2020
Mhm.
is, getting that under control.
Yes. So Tony Robbins was the first person. Basically, what happened to me was obviously the pandemic hit, and then I was doing arts as fun and hobbies, and also doing virtual performances. I'm a performer. I can forever do that. And then I saw a friend, Michelle Mercedes. You know her in West
Yeah.
Side, and she was pursuing her MBA, and I was like, this is the sign, because for months I kept talking about I want to focus on business and finance, because if something like this ever happened, not just a pandemic, but I don't have a job or something, I don't want to be in this kind of position where like I'm floundering and I don't know what to do, because I have no financial literacy. Like I don't get it. So I even messaged her that day and I was like, this is telling me that I need to finally just do it. Like finally just apply and go for it. So I did that, got into the MBA program. I was complacent. I was like, beautiful. I love this. Now I can just go to school and I'll learn it there. And then I know a few different people who have started businesses, and one guy named Ben had recommended Tony, and I was like, his books. I was like, okay, cool. I'll read those soon. And yesterday, mind you, 2 weeks ago, I was like, I'm going to start investing $100 into the stock market, because I was watching this video that was like, if you aren't willing to invest $100 into the stock market, how do you believe that you could make $1 million? Right? If you're not willing to just do something, even a small thing, like how do you believe that you could work on like this humongous scale? And I thought to myself,
Are you using
yeah,
the Robinhood app? Sorry to
I
interrupt.
am.
What?
I am a Robinhood person. It's quite
Yeah.
simple. I like it. I'm like
Oh,
making money right now. I love it.
we gotta talk. We gotta talk more about Robinhood after this for sure.
Yes. Um,
Sorry to
so
interrupt.
I, no, it's okay. It's perfect. So, but I did believe that. I was like, we all look at the stock market as like, oh no, it's down, I can't invest. And then when it's up, we're like, oh no, it's too expensive, I can't invest. So never will we believe that we can invest our money into it, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm just gonna invest. If I lose a little bit of money, it's $100 a week. I'll be okay. Like
Yeah.
it's I'll try. Um,
People are throwing that away, eating out or doing whatever. So you might as well do it in a more productive fashion.
exactly. And maybe the $100 could make $3. Maybe it
Yeah.
can. And that's $3 that I didn't have before. Um,
That's
you know,
right. I
so
think I think
yeah,
now is a great time to invest. This is when we would like put in the little cursor at the bottom saying like, I'm not a professional, don't listen.
not at all.
But anyways, when it's down in these circumstances, it's down in an unusual time in our society. And those businesses that are down that used to be up, they're not down because of any fault of their own. So now's the time to take advantage of that low price point, so that when things do get normalized in whatever way that's going to mean, and their stock goes back up, you had already capitalized during this time.
Exactly. So that's when I started just investing, but I wasn't doing any research. I was just kind of like, they say invest in what you know. So I tried to do that. Some time passed. I was like, okay, I'm finally going to do the research. I'm going to like sit down and try to look up what people do. And I found Tony, and then I found Ray Dalio, and really just kind of sat and just watched a whole bunch of their videos, just different videos, different tips that they've got, a whole bunch of different stuff. All night yesterday, honestly, till about 1:00 in the morning. And there was so much that they talk about that has to do with finance. That's amazing. But also just a lot of it has to do with life and how to live your life to be able to do any field that you want to. And so you realize that the way that they go at the stock market is by studying psychology and making sure that mentally they are ready to be in the stock market, because a lot of stocks just have to do with emotion. So I just found that incredibly fascinating last night. And now I'm like, diving deep into his book Unshakable now. I like went to Barnes and Nobles at 9:30 this morning to pick it up. Because I just think that it's something that we all should know as artists. He started bringing up the fact that like celebrities and athletes, so many of them go bankrupt because they make a lot of money and then no one really tells them what to do with the money. And so they become consumers, which is amazing, right? We all consume things. Like I own Apple products, right? But I don't own Apple because I don't invest in Apple. I have no stake, no share, nothing in the game, right? So they've made money off of me consuming their product, but I've made nothing. I've just lost money.
Yeah.
That's it. And soon the value of the product I have will depreciate and I will sell it for less than I bought it for. And that's how we just live life, which is fine. But the way to be able to, from what I've been researching and reading and listening to so far, is being able to consume and then own.
Yeah.
As well. And I think that with the current climate of the world and everything, so many people have talked about owning and legacy and generational wealth. And those are things that I'm like, I don't have those things.
Mm-hmm.
But how does one get them, right? And we think that self-made billionaires and millionaires came out and just had that money. And then you listen to these people's stories, Tony's story, Ray Dalio's story. They did not start with millions and billions of dollars.
No.
Right? They took the chance and they tried. And then they failed and they figured out, they solved, as Ray Dalio likes to say, his problems he looks at as a puzzle. And you figure out the puzzle and you get to the root of the problem, then you overcome it and you keep moving. He has this like whole five cycle, beautiful. I'm like, wow, something we never talk about. Because we all say like, there's never a failure. It's always just a lesson, right? But if we don't see the first step, be realistic. It was a misstep. You failed. You tripped on the rock. The thing happened. Now you can get to the root of the problem. If you just go to like, it was a lesson, but you don't know what the lesson was, you can't move forward.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Take some time to study that lesson and really dissect it for sure. Let's go back to you making that decision to apply and go get your MBA. A lot of people are thinking of doing a lot of things right now, with all the time on their hands. Is it just something natural for you to have that, I guess, courage or just go-getter attitude to just go for it? Or what was that process like for you to actually pull the trigger and put yourself out there,
Yeah. I think we all innately have it, but we have to like exercise that muscle. We have to exercise that determination that we have within ourselves, or else it just goes dormant. So it wasn't natural. I had been looking at applications over and over again. And as I said before, Michelle had like applied, said she was doing an MBA. And she put a post on Instagram and I was like, this is what I need to do. Like I've been thinking about it this whole time and I haven't done it. And sorry, Thor he was like, I want off your lap right now. But I needed to make that leap. So I do say like, it's not overnight. I'm not just like, yes, I need to do this right now. I think about it. And sometimes I do make a few mistakes. And then I think to myself, why not? Like, what am I losing? And I think the pandemic has really taught me that. Like, what am I really losing by trying?
Yeah. Yeah, we have one of our Built for the Stage t-shirts is a why not t-shirt from Giuseppe Basilio from Hamilton, and that was his big mantra of like just put yourself out there. And like you just said about the failures, if you fail, it's a lesson to learn from and you move on. And I guess that would be the motivating message from our episode with you today, Shereen, is anyone watching for Motivation Monday is just, why not? Now's the time to do it. If really there was ever a time, now's the time.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like there's a pandemic. There's like lots of things are happening right now. Why not? Like you kind of, for the most part, only have things to gain. And the things you're losing really they're not coronavirus is, so not in that respect, but aside from that, right, they're not life and death. Like investing in the stock market for me for $100, not life and death. Applying for my MBA, not life or death, right? If I didn't get in, I didn't get in. But I tried.
Yeah.
I did.
Oh, there it is.
That way.
That's it. That's the period on this sentence for this episode. Perfect way to end it off. Thank you so much for joining us today, Shereen.
Of course. I'm glad I could come and talk about finance.
I'm telling this. No, this was it. This is it. This is how we want to motivate people out there by just continuing to be artists, but realize Gabe Hyman said it a week or so ago. What your work is not who you are. You know, you are not, or no, he said your worth is not in your work. That's what he said.
Yeah.
So keep it up out there. Everybody watching, why not? Go for it. Once again, thank you so much, Shereen. If you want to try a free trial of Built for the Stage, go to builtforthestage.com. Thanks to our friends at Playbill for hosting us every Monday on Motivation Monday. We'll see you next time. Later.